So a couple of videos ago, I was talking about infidelity and how can you stay with a spouse who has cheated on you. Well, today we're going to talk about 5 signs so that you actually know if that's a decision you're going to have to make. Stay tuned. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit my bell so you get my videos when they come out on every Wednesday and Friday, because I love when we do this vibing together. It makes me feel really, really good. Let's talk. I'm going to start with this. I was a cheat magnet. I have developed these 5 signs actually from my real life experiences, because every man that I used to date really had a cheating issue. I had mentioned in another video that I had a significant other that seriously was the community man. I would catch him every 3 months, maybe. I think that was probably the longest period of time that we went in our 7-year relationship where I did not catch him. So these signs are given to you from my own personal experience, as well as general studies that have been done around signs that show up when you are having the issue of infidelity in your relationship. Tip number 1, gaps in time. If you find that your partner is going to the mall or has to go to the corner store, and what should maybe be an hour or a 15-minute stop turns into 2 or 3 hours, you may want to take a little bit of a double take. If it happens once, But if it's something that you're noticing is happening more and more often, you may want to take a double look at that. Chances are they are extending time and making excuses to just get out of the house. Sometimes it can be an easy hit it and quit it. And that is normally a really good sign. Gaps in time. Sign number 2, you're noticing like a growing disinterest in your relationship. Some things are really starting to be dropped in the ball. Like maybe you guys have a movie night or a weekend night or something that is part of your routine as a couple, and all of a sudden they're no longer interested, or they're finding ways to avoid the space with you, like just that interaction and those things that make closeness. That can normally be also about, one, they might be feeling a bit guilty. It's really hard to spend time with somebody when you know that you're acting in distrust. It's a real thing. You'll notice that your partner will try and stay away from you or just not connect with you in the same way. It could be nothing, but maybe it is. Finding that your partner is suddenly starting really stupid fights, like picking at you, or you'll slam the door and it turns into that you were never paying attention to them and they slam out the door. Well, that could be a sign that something is really wrong. They're starting to want to make an issue or problem so that they can get out of the house. And it also serves a secondary fact of creating some justification for what probably is a cheat or an infidelity. When we are in those spaces of dishonesty, it creates a lot of shame and looking in that kind of reflects back, and you'll see that it will be taken out on you. So watch for that as a sign as well. There are these outrageous fights for no reason. A lot of the times they may be seemingly angry at you, but deep down inside they're angry at themselves. This one, it's a tricky one that I'm going to talk about now. This one is sign number 4. It's like a diminishing of your relationship that you'll notice things starting to happen. So what I mean by that is, you guys might have been planning a really big trip, let's say, and all of a sudden your partner may start saying things like, well, it's not that important anyway, or do we really need to be spending that much time together? Or can't we put the money or the space somewhere else? Like, do we really have to go? It's a very subtle way of distancing yourself from your partner. And what happens is, once again, that plays into that idea of guilt. To truly hurt somebody or to do things that we know we're not supposed to, what can happen is that we offer out an energy where we have to make you less than, make the feeling between the relationship seem less important. Because when we do that, then it's a way of being able to once again add that distance and somehow make what may be happening with somebody else, or the connections that they're forming with somebody else, feel more real and more valid. It's also a real sign of something disconnecting in the relationship that you may want to take a second look at. If you're seeing that, period, it may not be about cheating, but if it's put together with the other signs that I've been talking about, it definitely warrants a space to do a double check. Sign number 5. You're noticing that your partner kind of starts hiding their phone, or they're not letting you into their emails. And every relationship functions different. Sometimes you guys may keep these things very private to begin with, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, I don't go into my partner's stuff. There is that mutual trust going on, but the key to that is also that I know that I could, so I don't worry about it. But if you find that, say, you and your partner had that kind of an agreement where it was really easy, and then all of a sudden now there's a sign-in, a thumbprint, a facial recognition, something that didn't exist before, you may want to take a double look at that. I mean, if you find that they're leaving the room to go to the bathroom and the phone is going with them, which isn't so unusual now. Like, I know I take my phone to the bathroom. Sometimes I like my privacy, and I just like to read while I do my other stuff. But if you're finding that you're hearing whisperings and conversations in that space, I would really take a second guess and see what may be going on there, especially if it's something that's come up sudden. So those are my 5 tips all. And I want you to just take a deep breath, because now that you've got them, what do you do about them? My first thought is to tell you to breathe, because they're just signs. They're not guarantees. And now once you've done that, start to gather information. Pay attention. Look for the signs. See if they're adding up for you. Take a moment to just sit back and really maybe think about confronting your partner. Talking about, okay, I'm noticing this, because at the very least, if you're having to have that thought, then maybe it is time for a real connection between you and your person. It happens to the best of us. Cheating or infidelity can be real. It doesn't necessarily have to mean the end, or it could mean the end. Those choices are still yours to make. But before you jump to the conclusion and make a decision that's out there, make sure you've got all your facts first. I really want to be able to help anyone who's going through a situation where, even if you're just worrying or you're not sure, I offer coaching sessions to help you really get clear about what's happening in your relationship. So click the links down below. I offer a free session where we can connect online, anywhere in the world, and let's talk a little bit. Let's see where you're at. Let me try and help you help yourself to figure it out. You're not alone in it, because that's the worst part of this. You can feel like you're all alone, but that's not the case. And it is fixable, maybe. But wouldn't it be great to know? Till next time, we'll talk.